and welcome to this week's video. Are your oil paintings looking flat, muddy or lifeless, even when you're spending hours on them? You're not alone, and it's probably not your talent holding you back. Today I'm going to show you the 8 most common oil painting mistakes I see beginners and even intermediate artists make, and more importantly how to fix them using proven painting theory. I'm going to use this recent dog commission to help illustrate my points. By the end of this video, you'll understand why your paintings might be failing, and you'll have clear steps to make them convincing, dynamic and full of life. Let's make a start. Number 1, overblending is killing your brushwork. Beginners tend to overblend edges until everything looks smooth. This loses texture and form to your painting. Why is this a problem? Overblending destroys edge hierarchy. You need soft, lost and hard edges to show focus and depth. You'll see from my painting of this King Charles Cavalier, I have hard edges, soft edges and lost edges. How do you know where to put these? As a rule, use the principle of how the eye sees. You have a central point of focus, and as you move out, the edges become softer and can be lost on the periphery. If you are still unsure, try squinting at what you are trying to paint. Your hard edges will be the ones that you can still see clearly. What about my brush? Long-haired, softer brushes will give you a much more blended effect. And if painting alla prima, I can use these brushes to pull my edges into each other. Flat, short hair brushes will give me a more expressive, visible stroke. So I will use these where I want to make a feature of these strokes, like in the background and the ear. Have a variety of brushwork too. Number 2, your colours are muddy and you are losing your colour vibrancy. There could be a number of problems here. You could be mixing too many colours together, but this can be easily fixed by limiting the number of colours on your palette to perhaps 3 to 5 maximum. I would suggest yellow ochre light, Rembrandt, cadmium red, Winsor & Newton, ultramarine deep, Rembrandt and titanium white, whatever brand you like. By learning how to use a limited palette, this will unify your painting and is particularly good for still life and portrait painting. The second problem could be that you have too many warm colours in your painting. For a painting to be successful, you need a range of both warm and cool colours in your artwork, so you need to understand temperature. Understanding the colours on your palette will help. My palette now includes cadmium yellow light, yellow ochre light, transparent yellow oxide, cadmium red, alizarin crimson, ultramarine deep and titanium zinc white. I have painted this dog in complementary colours. I mixed my own black from green and red, green being cool, red being warm. I use a different red and green here, plus I have pushed it to an orange and blue. I've used the same colour opposites for my background, switching between red and green and orange and blue, giving me that lovely warm and cool effect that you see. For my greys, I have used the same colour opposites but just added white. So I have done a lot of colour mixing, unifying my colours and used a warm and cool palette, ensuring I have both warm and cool temperatures in my painting. If you would like to know more about using a limited palette and understanding the colours on your palette, have a look at these videos on my channel. The last problem you may have is a dirty brush leading to dull greyish colours. So make sure you keep it clean and remove as much of the solvent as you can so that it doesn't lift the paint off your canvas. Number 3, your value relationships are incorrect. Getting your lights and darks correct are more important than colour and temperature for realism and readability. Very often when a painting looks wrong, it will be because these are off. How do you make sure these are correct? Firstly, you can try squinting at your reference and simplifying it into obvious blocks. You can then paint these first and work in the detail later. If this is not working, try turning your reference into black and white and then photographing your painting and turning this into black and white. Compare them side by side. You are looking for any obvious differences. Don't forget that your own camera may photograph darker, so make allowances for this and don't take it too literally. Number 4, you are ignoring your light source temperature. Perhaps all of your shadows look grey and your light looks the same. Light and shadow temperatures are always opposite. If you are dealing with warm light, your shadows will be cool. If you are dealing with cool light, your shadows will be warm. So it is important to identify the temperature of your light source. Understanding temperature is key here. If you are dealing with cool light, you can use more white in your colour mixing for your mid and light values, but will need to use warmer colours in your shadows. Think reds, oranges and yellows. If you are dealing with warm light, you will need to use warmer colours in your mid and light values. Think oranges and yellows. Your shadows will need to be cooler though, so think blues, blacks or cool purples. In my painting, I am dealing with ambient light, which behaves slightly differently. Ambient light is indirect light bouncing off walls, ceilings and other objects. Ambient light subtly warms or cools everything it touches, including shadows and reflected objects. So here, my ambient light is warming my object and making my dog appear much warmer than had they been photographed outside. I make allowances for this in my colour mixing by using more of this orange in my greys to make them feel warmer. Number 5. There is no depth or atmosphere in your painting. If this is the case, everything may be painted with the same detail and contrast. Remember, edges, contrast and saturation all fade with distance. How can you fix this? Be aware of camera photos. They tend to sharpen everything equally. Try shooting on something like cinematic mode if you have an iPhone. Alternatively, just apply the iris blur principle to your painting, or if painting a landscape, separate it into foreground, midground and background, going from hard edges to soft edges to lost edges. In my painting, you'll notice I've softened my brushwork around the ears and across the back. You'll also see my brushwork gets more rigorous in this part of the painting, helping to give a sense of perspective. Number 6. You are using too much solvent or medium. Too much medium will cause your painting become slippery, thin and lifeless. If you are painting alla prima, think buttery rather than slippery and reserve your medium for the areas of less detail where you want more vigorous, interesting strokes. In this painting, I covered my painting in a very sketchy layer to get my paper covered. I used no medium at this point. I do not wait for this to dry before painting over it. In the second layer, I used medium everywhere except in the central point of focus, where I wanted more control over the paint. If you are painting in layers, you may need to make sure you observe the fat over lean rule. And there you have it, 6 of the most common mistakes that can hold your oil paintings back and the practical ways to fix them. From overblending and muddy colours to value issues, light temperature, flat depth and medium control. These are all problems that can be solved once you understand the why behind them. The key takeaway is this: by paying attention to your brushwork, controlling your palette, observing values carefully, respecting light and ambient temperature and creating depth and atmosphere, you can transform your paintings from flat or lifeless into dynamic, convincing work that really comes alive. So next time you paint, try applying these principles step by step. Watch how small adjustments in your technique, colour mixing and observation can completely change the impact of your painting. With practice, these fixes will start to feel natural and your paintings will immediately benefit. Thanks so much for watching. If you found this helpful, check out my other videos on my channel and take your oil painting skills even further. Don't forget to subscribe for more painting tips and demonstrations.